Hey there, I'm back. I went to get the blueprint and the schematic, the layout and the schematic of the board. That's the schematic there. Can you see it? Is it washed out on you? I don't know if it'd be washed out on you. And this is the circuit board layout. This is all from synth's website, which is, I'll link it below in this video, because I can't find it written here at all. I'll just read it to you. I think it's usynth.org, possibly, or .net. Wonderful website, very nice. And if you're interested in analog synthesizers that basically replicate what would be made in the 70s with some modern, slightly newer components, but it's all analog, I recommend his website a great deal. That's a phenomenal place to start. And he has a store called, is it Stonk? I get his emails all the time. His store is called Thonk. Thonk Synth. Thonk Synth is his store. And he sells components, he sells analog components, he sells modules for modular synths. Usually Eurorack, because he's from France, I guess. But he will sell the kits, sell the components, and you can go to the website and buy it there. And you'll find really hard to get components from him. It's a great website. I'm very happy to be on the mail list. And I'm not sponsored. Nobody is sponsoring me. I'm just a little guy doing a little thing. So yeah. So this is the web. This is the voltage controlled amplifier, as I said. And I'm excited to build this one, so let's get on it. We'll put in the new components that we just got in the mail the other day. And I got a lot of them. I think I got about 50. So I can make a few of these boards if I want to. Not sure what would happen if you ran a VCA through a VCA. Not sure what would happen. Guess we could find out. And these are 100N capacitors off of eBay. And they came very quickly. I was very pleased with that. I was expecting them to take like 4 or 5 months, and they happened to come within a short period of time. Pardon me again, bumping the camera. I'm going to stand up. How bumped is that? A little bit. And I'm going to get my snips, and I'm going to get my wire strippers just in case I need those, and I'm going to get my tweezers. So I got my full toolkit. And really, there's not much you need for doing electronics. You know, if you're doing things like this, you will need an oscilloscope, you'll need a soldering iron, a breadboard would be good, and you'll need decent quality snips, like these ones, which I got from a local store, a wire stripper, don't remember where I got this one. This is a very basic wire stripper, has pliers at the tip, and just various sizes of wire. These are very useful. I like them. And these are just standard pliers you can get at any hardware store. I like them. They have good grabby things at the end. And I will snip these, snip the leads. And one of them goes right here next to the blue trim pot. Fits in like that. And I believe I put this one in the wrong place. That was the right place. So this goes in that place, there. Because that, what I put it in, is actually the support for a bigger one of these. So there we are. And I'm hoping that maybe next week we can get onto the wiring. And possibly even, if we hope, if we work really hard, we can get onto the wiring and run this through the oscilloscope and see what it looks like. Wouldn't that be fun? And the next one goes right here next to the diode. So we have the diode in there, and then this little blue alien one comes out and gets replaced with the next yellow one. So it was a good thing I ordered the correct ones off eBay. And I believe it came from England again. I get a lot of electronics from England. And just for consistency's sake, I'm going to put them facing the right way. They're not polarized, it doesn't matter which way they go in. But just for optics, I'm going to try to make them look good, following proper form. And I like to bend the legs like this. People bend the legs so that when you turn the board over, the components don't fall out. So if you're starting out and you're just tuning into this channel and you've not done electronics too often and you have a board that you're populating, be sure to bend the legs, and it's okay to snip them. I've not done that, and it looks like a spaghetti, a very nasty spaghetti. So it's okay to snip the legs too if you're fairly confident with what you've done. And we will do that at some point. So number 3, I guess, going from left to right, would be here on the page, next to the TL072, which is a nice op amp, a very old op amp. It is still made. That is a very old op amp. And that will go right here where this one is. In truth, I was very surprised at how quickly these came, and I'm pleased about that. They fit just perfect. Just perfect. And they look really sharp. That looks really sharp. Looks a lot better than the blue ones. I mean, that is a nice looking capacitor. Yeah. We're doing really well with this. In fact, we're running out of things to put on this board. Actually, let's look where it goes. Okay, this one goes right here next to where the wires would come out. So this one goes right here. I got it the wrong way. Turn it around and putting it in the correct way. There we go. And I'll bend the legs down like that. This is a very fun hobby. Analog synthesizers and theremins are extremely fun because you get all the fun of building the boards, if you're into that sort of thing, and then you get all the fun of playing with it afterwards. It's like a jigsaw puzzle you can play with. So even once the device is made, you get to continue with it. You know, it would be like building your own trumpet and then getting to play it. So there is, it's next to this LM741, which is another really old style amplifier. And I'll put it facing the right way now. Goes in like that. There. Now all the capacitors are in. And I think that looks really nice. I think these are much nicer capacitors for the look. They look really sharp. And I put all the names, all the labels facing south, I guess you could say, just for aesthetics. I mean, these are not polarized. These ones are. These black ones are. They're very polarized, and they will not work going in the wrong way. Nothing would work, you know. But these ones, you can put them in upside down, backwards, turn them around that way. But for optics, I like to have them go the same way. It's good form. That's what I've been told. And next would be just simply running a bunch of snips and putting in the 2SC 1583 dual yeah. I'm very tired, by the way, so I apologize. I'm extremely tired today. Not sure why. Here it is. I've had a very long work day. I had to do, whoops, I knocked over Sal. Sorry, Sal. I've had to do a lot of smoke today for special effects, and it was very focused. I worked for about 8 hours without a break, just doing smoke, gas. There was somebody in a chamber getting gassed, and I had to do the gas. And it was a lot of drawing. A huge amount of drawing. So my brain is mush. So I apologize if I start to babble or trail off. Transistors! Yeah, we will maybe put in the dual transistor, the 2SC 1583. See what happens when you're tired? Your brain goes to mush. And I'm considering cutting down on coffee, if not cutting coffee out completely. I like coffee very much, but coffee does not like me necessarily. And so I'm thinking of cutting out coffee. Now, this is what I printed off is the AC version, and there's a DC version. I don't know what the difference really is. I haven't found any documentation on the difference. This tells what to do to set it, and setting it is set A1, A2, and A3 to mid-range. Connect the sine wave generator. Set to 1 kilohertz, only to get a signal generator, I guess. To input 1, P1 tuned fully clockwise, and so on and so on. So at some point I might have to pick up a signal generator, which are not too expensive. You can get those at a fair price. Maybe I can get one used off eBay. Otherwise it might be hard to tune the board, because I need to get a sine wave generator. Something that can do 1 kilohertz, 4.0 voltage per something, VPP, voltage per something. If anybody knows what that means, I'll have to look that up, but mention it below. And I'm learning as I go too. It's a lot of fun to learn. So let's get some snips and we will put the snips in. And I have a lot of snips. On those. So you get these little pins from the snips. These are snips from the capacitors, resistors, and other things. And they become useful because you'll need bits of wire in the diagram. So this diagram is requesting wire here and there. And instead of cutting off a nice piece of wire, you can just use this. But you can't see. It's almost impossible for you to see that. And so right next to this 100N is a space for one of these. So I bend it like a staple. And then try to fit it in the hole. A bit tricky to do. And again, I should have put the snips in first, the snips of wire first, because this is a good example of putting in the tall things before the small things. This here now is going to make it difficult to put that in. You know, and I'm actually fumbling with it because I put the capacitor in first. I was excited. Yes, I was actually excited to get the capacitor. And so I put that in first. And now I'm having a challenge putting the snip in, because my fingers aren't that big. I mean, they're not that small. Ah. So the snip is in. There we go. And that looks like that. If you can see that, maybe not. And now I'm going to add a few more. There's a long one here. Space is right there underneath that resistor. Yeah, see, these things are kind of in the way now, which is fine. It's not an urgent rush to make this. There, now that snip is in. And what else is there? Well, it would be good to cross these off, but I didn't bring a pen. I have a pencil. And I believe I'm almost finished, because I did do some snips a long time ago before I started recording things. I put a snip in here and here, and that's practically it. This board is basically mostly done. So hooray! Other than getting the correct one of these. Might get that. And we can run wires through this now. Now we can hook up the wires and get the pots. I might have to order some trim pots. These are 3 100Ks. I don't think I have 3 of them, so I may have to order those. And I'll have to order the plugs. But everything else is fine. So I will stop the video for today. Thank you for tuning in. Here's the board thus far. We will swing back on this for next week. And next week I will get more organized, and I'll actually have the wires organized and laid out. And then we can just go forward with wiring it. And we're just about finished. And I may order a proper 47K. It does bother me that I don't have that. I have the others, but I don't have a 50K or 47K resistor, variable resistor. But the rest of it is done. And yeah, next week we'll just do some wiring and do some soldering. So we may actually get to soldering next week. So thank you for tuning in. This is a quicker video than usual. But I hope you have a good week. And any questions, just ask below. Any thoughts, mention below. And if you have some insights, please feel free to mention that too. Take care. Have a good week. Bye-bye.